made a custom Pokemon game where I asked my nerdy friends their favorite Pokemon and let them be gym leaders with that team. It's also built off of an extremely difficult ROM hack called Sacred Gold, so I didn't really quite understand what all I signed up for. Here's how it went down. Young Pablo wakes up one day in New Bark Town, says goodbye to mom forever, and hits the lab to see Professor Elm. Professor Elm says, "Hello, child. Are you ready to go out on your own? Grab a Pokemon." Ignoring the Farfetch and the Magikarp, I grab the Growlithe and name him Luma. Thank you so much, Luma, for helping out with this ROM hack. Head off the Route 30 on the way to Cherry Grove, and some old dude gives me a beat-up fishing pole. I keep walking, and some nice lady gives me an Eevee. Welcome to the team, Leonardo. I grab an egg from a guy named Mr. Pokemon, and on the way back, some random dude in a FaZe jersey battles me. After wiping the floor with him, he drops some papaya and a passport that read Zuma. Once I get back home, I grab some Pokeballs for my girlfriend and head back to Cherry Grove to go fishing. I catch a little fish, name him Bubbles, and then continue the journey on to Violet City. A Lotad bit me on the ankles on the way over there, so I had to trap little Modelo in a ball prison forever. And once I arrived, I realized the town wanted me to head over to the Tower of Old People. Apparently it's haunted as well because I caught a f***ing ghost while I was there and named it Spooky. Original, I know. I saw Zuma running away from the old people and I didn't know why, and then I found out really quickly. These old dudes are strong. After getting spanked once, I climbed the elderly tower again, and then I beat the guy this time that gave me a chilled ore. Leonardo ate that shit like ice cream and evolved into Glaceon. With the old people defeated, it was time for gym number 1. Nick Maniac Kirchner. He opens with an Onyx, which Luma kicks to death. Leonardo takes out his Starmie with a few bites, and Icy wins the Gyarados for the first W. First gym done. The journey to Azalea Town started with a go-go dancer giving me an egg to take care of before I headed into Union Cave. I catch an Aaron and named it Aaron. I promise you the names get better. After stumbling my way through the cave all alone, being a literal child, I arrived to Azalea Town where this random dude quizzes me and then gives me a Trico.
I want to take a quiz.
Let's get started.
Let's get started. Question 1.
Is Sableye the only Pokemon able to have the stall ability?
Yes.
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 I have no idea.
Correct.
Correct.
That's what I'm talking
Never heard
about,
of
Blake.
Skull, but I got us.
Is the Lax incense required in order to breed a Munchlax?
Yes.
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 Incorrect.
Sorry, that was the wrong answer. Please come and try again.
What the hell?
What do we
Final
got?
question.
Does Gardevoir have
What
a
do we-
higher base stat than Alakazam?
Alakazam.
I would say yes, because Abra's super weak.
But Alakazam is the third.
Alakazam's
So
special.
is Gardevoir.
As Alakazam's base special defense is minuscule. From my understanding.
Okay.
So
Yeah, go
yes.
for it. Just try it.
Let's go. You favorite quiz.
What's the middle one?
Whoa, we get a
get
Pokemon!
Which I named Wasabi. Told you the names get better. I head into Ilex Forest. Ilex? Is it Ilex? I hope it is. I head into Ilex Forest to catch Jill the Pikachu, and while that happens, the egg hatches, and it's a level 1 Togepi that I named Tim. And then I threw it in the box and never saw it again. I found out that there was this dude eating Slowpoke's hole or something like that. When I dropped down into this well, it turned out to be Noah J. What a weirdo. Leo froze his whole team to death, and then I moved on to face the second gym leader, Roger. Roger smoked me.
Oh no!
Don't kill me.
Where's our dog?
What? Sit on Alakazam.
So I decided to grind up some more and found Zuma again. After beating Zuma, Bubbles evolved into Gyarados, and I felt ready to challenge Roger for the second time. Bubbles bubbled his Charizard, Leo Icy wins his Pidgeot, and Wasabi has an insane clutch against his Alakazam.
There's no
Imagine
way.
Wasabi takes it.
Wasabi?
Come on, Wasabi.
Wasabi?
Go,
The god?
Go. Ah! Oh my god, one more. Quick attack. Quick, do you have quick attack?
Come on,
Quick attack, quick
Wasabi.
attack.
Quick attack.
Yes, quick attack. End him.
Ow!
End him.
Ah!
Oh!
Wasabi evolves, and I walk away with badge number 2. Heading back through Ilex Forest, I save 2 Farfetch'd, learn Cut, and help another Go-Go Dancer. After working my way through Route 34, I finally arrive to Goldenrod City. What a place. So many buildings, so many people, and so much opportunity. I head to the casino to play a game called Voltorb Flip, which I didn't understand, so I left. I talked to another quiz guy that gave me a Piplup that I named Kevin, and then headed to fight the Goldenrod City gym leader, Karma. His coughing exploded on me. Kevin bubble beams his Sudowoodo. Just so you know, Sudowoodo is a rock type. I don't know if you guys knew that. Doesn't it look grass? No, it's a rock. And then Luma burns his Articuno to death. 3 badges after defeating the 3 rings. Heading out to Route 36, I had to pour some water on this rock-type Pokemon, and then headed up to Ukritique City.
That
The gym leader wasn't there, so I had to head up to another creepy-ass tower where I saw 3 puppy dogs and Zuma's bitch ass. I had to handle him real quick. And then we went to go pet the dogs, and they all ran away. Outside of the gym, I caught a male Abra, so I had to name him Abro. Leveled him up to Kadabra, and then headed down to battle the hardest gym of the entire run, Matt Craig. Matt had a Snorlax that I simply just could not beat. I had 0 fighting moves, and he was the tankiest Pokemon ever. His Snorlax alone wiped me 3 times. So I decided to trade a Pokemon with some random dude to get something called a Covenant Orb, evolve Kadabra into Alakazam, train him up, buy Focus Blast from Goldenrod, and then head back to fight him again. It worked. An hour later, I go back to battle Snorlax and end up taking him out. Now only for Matt's other 2 Pokemon. Nice. It took me an hour to get ready for a Snorlax, and now I have to battle a Mewtwo? I see Emac Craig every single day, and I couldn't even look at him in the eyes the next day. I was so pissed. For the next 3 hours, I grinded to simply just get ready again. I brought Spooky back out from the PC, evolved her into Haunter, made sure she knew Shadow Ball, and then went and traded for another Covenant Orb so I can evolve her into Gengar. I grinded Luma up to level 34 so that she would learn Flamethrower, and then gave her a redstone to eat so she would evolve into Arcanine. My first time battling Matt was 10 hours in, and here we are at hour 13 and a half, giving it another go. Bubbles and Kevin put down some initial damage to help Abro wipe out Snorlax with his Focus Blast. Mewtwo comes in and Spooky smokes his ass with a Shadow Ball, and then I was able to take out 3 hours of aggression on his Gyarados. Finally, 4 badges down. That Emac Craig grind really paid off because up until that moment, I felt super underleveled. I think I bought myself a few hours of a less stressful Pablo. I headed over to Olivine City, and at the very top of the lighthouse, I found Legion. He was really sad because his electric sheep was sick. I told him I would help him, but first I'd have to go smoke Joe Woe. I sailed down to Cyanwood City, murdering every swimmer in my path, walk into the gym, and Joe is standing under a huge waterfall like some sort of idiot. I then beat Joe's super unique squad of Pikachu, Eevee, and Charizard for the 5th badge. I mean, seriously, Joe, did you just Google Pokemon and pick the top 3? I talked to a lady on the beach that gave me a Pikachu that could fly and surf, so I flew back to Olivine City to give Legion the medicine and to also give him these hands. He beat me. But the second time around, Luma, Spooky, and Abro go crazy and clutch up on his beefy Ninetales. I earned my 6th badge, and I also helped a man with his dying Pokemon. I am amazing. Next, I hop on my flying Pikachu to go visit the Safari Zone. I gotta start preparing for the Elite Four, and I think I know just the Pokemon that'll help with that. After a few attempts, I convince a Larvitar to come with me and name him Dumpy. I also heard people freaking out about an albino Gyarados, so I went and caught that too. Welcome to the team, Red Bubbles. I hope you and Bubbles get along. After that, I meet the best trainer in the entire world, Skunk. We infiltrate a normal-ass shop that turned out to be the 100 Thieves' secret hideout. Together, arm in arm, we run through the entire base and free Mahogany Town of the evil 100 Thieves rule. With them gone, I go down to fight the next gym leader, Diesel. At this point, my team is pretty stacked, so his Gengar, Umbreon, Houndoom, Gyarados, and Machamp were pretty easy to take care of. That's 7 badges down. Only 1 more to go. As I headed back to Goldenrod, I realized that the town had been taken over by 100 thieves. Probably because they were salty that Scump and I just smoked their shit. I had to sneak into the radio tower by stealing one of the uniforms to get past the guards. And guess who comes along to ruin it? Zuma's bitch ass. Now I have to battle through the entire radio tower, including the 4 big guns that were protecting everyone. Enable is first up. He has a Mewtwo, a Blastoise, Mew, Gengar, Charizard, and Pikachu. Smacked. I had to get revenge on Zuma for blowing up my spot real quick, and then I head back up to the tower. I guess Noah J is done eating Slowpokes because he and his Psyduck, Gyarados, Mew, Mewtwo, Gengar, and Typhlosion try and jump me next. I'm not gonna lie, I had to make his Typhlosion struggle to beat it. Brooke is up next. She had the strongest Vaporeon known to man that Spooky eventually had to thunder. Then her Growlithe, Ninetales, Ponyta, and Jigglypuff had to go as well. And last but not least, the leader of all 100 thieves, JHB team. Terrified, I approached the leader with my nerves through the roof. Then he brings out his Bulbasaur. He had a Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Jigglypuff, Charizard, and Mew. Come on, James, pick it up, man. In honor of destroying 100 thieves forever, Dumpy finally evolves into Tyranitar. As I make my way to Blackthorn City, I realized that if I was going to change anything in my lineup before hitting Victory Road, it would have to be now. So after I beat Aaron Create and his annoying ass Spiritomb and Raichu for the 8th badge, I surfed out back and caught a Dratini. With Martini on the squad, having recently evolved into Dragonair, 8 badges in hand, and 23 hours of game time played, I headed towards Victory Road. On the way there, Professor Elm calls me to give me this cool ass purple Pokeball that apparently you're supposed to use to catch your favorite Pokemon or something like that. So that was super cool. I then traveled up to Victory Road facing Zuma at the end and completely demolished him. The sun must have been in his eyes or something. As soon as Martini evolved into Dragonite, I knew it was time. We opened up the Elite Four with Courage JD. I wasn't too worried, he probably got carried to get here anyway.
You got carried.
Kevin serves his Charizard, Martini takes flight on his Machamp, Entei, and Typhlosion. Kevin serves his Ninetales, and Dumpy stone edges his Zapdos. That's 1 down. Next up is Marcel. The whole team goes clutch on this one, taking out his Smeargle, Squirtle, Tyranitar, Primeape, Gengar, and Gloomy. Basically, I did work him. Never mind. Nade Shot next. I already took care of all of 100 thieves, so this shouldn't be too hard. Well, it kind of was. He had a Tyranitar, Typhlosion, Ho-Oh, Heatran, Dragonite, and Giratina. That one took a while, but Dumpy really carried me to the victory for that one. Next up is Formal. It was really time to pound his ass. Dumpy takes down his Tyranitar, Dragonite, and Charizard, and then Spooky and Kevin clean up the Alakazam, Mew, and Arcanine. The Elite Four was down. It's pretty easy too. Only one trainer left to beat, and it's the fiercest man in all of the land, Scump. He opens with Gyarados just to get thundered by Spooky. Next up, Dumpy kills like his 50th Charizard with Stone Edge. Spooky was able to hit another Thunder on his Blastoise just so Dumpy could come back out and take care of his Lapras. Martini hits a fly on another Machamp, and Dumpy takes us to the promised land with one final Earthquake on Arcanine. I had done it. Pokemon Master Pablo. 27 hours in and I was league champion. Luma, Martini, Dumpy, Abro, Spooky, and Kevin had given it their all and deserved a hot bath with some chocolate-covered strawberries for the night. We weren't done yet, though. There were still more nerds out there to beat. Before I headed out to the next country to embarrass even more of my friends, I remembered the purple ball that Doc Elm had given me and decided it was time to catch my favorite Pokemon. I head back over to Route 48 where I catch my man Calvin and add him to the party, inducting Abro into the Pablo Hall of Fame, also known as the PC. Next, I hop on a boat to Kanto, play hide-and-go-seek with a kid, and then start my journey in a whole nother land. The Vermilion City gym leader wasn't there, but the bouncer told me to head up to Pewter City and fight the gym leader there. Made you look. Props to Alexis as well, because I think she's the first gym leader up this point that didn't have a Charizard or a Mewtwo. Spooky Shadow Balls her Abra, Dumpy crunches her Espeon and Sableye, and then Earthquakes the Ninetales. And I know it's lame, but Spooky Destiny bonds twice in this battle against her Haunter and Milotic. Whatever it takes, right? I headed up to Cerulean City where everyone was freaking out because the power plant wasn't working or something like that. It turns out some dude had just stolen a part and hid it in the gym. Once I fixed that, I went up and cock-blocked Noisy Butters while she was on a date, which I kind of felt pretty bad about. Spooky started that battle off with a Shadow Ball to the chest to her Machamp and Dugtrio. Luma then Flare Blitzes her Mawile. Dumpy crunches the Psyduck. Luma flamethrowers the Magneton, and then the whole squad spends what feels like an hour trying to chip away at her Wigglytuff. Butters hands me the 10th badge, and now she's free to go back on as many dates as she possibly wants to go on. With those two down, I guess the lazy gym leader from Vermilion City decided to come back to work. After looking in trash cans for way too long, I finally get a chance to battle 407, or Scotty. His name's Scotty. He had a Mew, Alakazam, Zapdos, Mewtwo, and Dragonite, which we've seen those fights like 100 times already. But he also had my Kryptonite Pokemon, Blaziken. He's a fighting and fire type, so he's weak to Psychic, and Abro's in the PC, Flying, and Calvin's still new to the squad, and Water. But Kevin is also super weak to him. Eventually, Spooky comes in clutch and just Shadow Balls Blaziken, and we finally beat the gym. The weather in Fuchsia City was miserable. It was so clammy. You get it because the shelters are okay. But Dr. Lupo was also there. And speaking of doctors, somebody's gotta call him one because Calvin is finally leveled enough to start putting the beat down on whoever wants it. Lupo opens with a Flareon, which Kevin takes out with Surf, and Calvin gets his first kill by punching a grizzly bear. I would love to see a fan art piece of this if somebody could make that happen. Dumpy then crunches Alakazam, Calvin Leaf Blades Blastoise, Dumpy crunches Dusclops, and also takes down his tank of an Umbreon. These evolutions are no joke, man. The Kanto run Sacred Gold moves a lot faster than the first portion of the game, and there's very little side quests, so it's mostly just beat a gym, then move on to the next one. So in order not to bore you with the small details of every fight, I'm just going to breeze through the next few gym leaders and their teams and let you know who the MVP of that battle was. Nogla was up next with his Wobbuffet, Shedinja, Tangrowth, Muck, Miltank, and Shuckle, which Kevin and Luma were able to handle pretty easily. Calvin has a really good showing against George with his Gallade, Metachamp, Metagross, Gyarados, Tauros, and Dragonite. Blake has a Blaziken, which is still so annoying. Arcanine, Lugia, Golduck, Altaria, and Latios. Kevin honestly went nuts during that whole fight. And the last gym leader was actually on the front of Kanto today as the sexiest man in the entire world. With that being said, his Venusaur, Lapras, Alakazam, Suicune, Farfetch'd, and Celebi were no match for Luma and the boys. 16 badges in hand, and it's almost time to run back the Pop Warner Pokemon League before I go fight that weirdo on the mountain. But before I do, there's one last thing that needs to be taken care of. Throughout this journey, I've noticed there were a few pests that have been infecting the land and scaring the citizens. I felt like it was my duty to get rid of these creatures and protect the people of the community. So that's what I did. Pablo and the squad take down a talking dragon in a cave, a terrifying bird that was stalking the go-go dancers, 3 rabid dogs, a rogue airplane, a bird that shocks things, a bird that freezes things, and a bird that sets shit on fire. An evil Brussels sprout, a little alien in a cave, and finally, an even bigger alien. Now, I don't think those were all of the pests, but I've done what I could, for now, to protect the people of the community that I love. With one more task in the way before climbing the mountain, I head back to the Indigo Plateau to take on the trainers I had already wiped the floor with before. One by one, our team took down Courage, Nadeshot, Formal, and Marcel, leading us to a rematch with Skunk. Spooky terrorized his level 84 Gyarados with Thunder. His Tyranitar was taken down with a couple of Surfs by Kevin. Martini survives a Dragon Claw somehow, and then Ice Beams his Garchomp to death. Kevin avalanches his Dragonite and Flygon, and Dumpy finishes off Scumpy with one final Stone Edge. I had done it. I was now the defending 2-time world champion. I was a 16-time regional winner, and I had also taken down an evil corporation set out for world domination and slowpoke consumption. and I had also led the pest control for the entire land. Everything I had set out to accomplish, I had done, except for one thing. The hike up Mount Silver was not an easy one. Myself and Calvin climbed up and down as many rocks as we possibly could in this labyrinth of a mountain, all in search of one mythical Latino. After around 10 minutes of walking, I find myself at the top of the mountain. The music stops. The only thing I hear is the ominous wind blowing in my ears, and I knew that I had made it. Walking up to the man with his back turned, I knew it was time for my final task. Hex opens up with a level 96 Pikachu, who swiftly puts a thunderbolt into Dumpy before getting taken out by an earthquake. Is it gonna be this easy? Calvin hits Garchomp with a close combat before getting taken out, and then Kevin finishes him off with an avalanche. Next up is a level 100 Magneton. Luckily, he misses a Thunder, which allowed Luma to get a Flare Blitz hit in and bring him down to really low health. Baiting a full restore, I had Luma hit another Flare Blitz, which actually crit this time, taking him out in one shot. Things are going so smoothly so far. What could be next? Nothing big, just a level 92 Rayquaza. In order to beat this guy, I had to go back and forth healing Kevin and Martini, just praying that he would confuse himself with an Outrage so that I could finally get a hit in. Was it an honorable fight? No. Do I care? Absolutely not. Kevin stood tall and watched that Rayquaza punch himself in the head until it fainted. 4 down, 2 left. My team was in absolute shambles and barely hanging on. So who else was he gonna send out? I feel like I've asked a lot of my Pokemon up until this point, and now I have to send them out to fight literally God. The secret to this battle? Calvin. Yes, Calvin the Farfetch'd was our only hope to defeat the creator and God of all Pokemon. After 20 minutes of revive stalling, Arceus was finally out of PP in Shadow Claw, Extreme Speed, and Earthquake, which only left him with Sword Stance. Now was the time for Calvin. Our man Calvin stood toe-to-toe with Arceus and punched him in the face twice to take him down. He might just be the bravest little bird to ever live. The last Pokemon on Hex's team was a level 92 Metagross, and because my team was so weak from our fight with Arceus, he was able to take down almost everyone. We had him weak, and after Martini was taken down by a Meteor Mash, it was all up to Luma to finish the job. Yes, that Luma. The one we had picked up in New Bark Town 42 hours ago. Knowing that if anything went wrong, we were done for and would have to start the fight all the way back over. Luma throws a Flare Blitz at Metagross. What an experience that was, man. After paying respects to my Hall of Fame team of Modelo, Flying Pikachu, Leonardo, Abro, Bubbles, Red Bubbles, Wasabi, Luma, Martini, Dumpy, Spooky, Kevin, and of course, Calvin, I could rest easy as the champion of this pest-free world. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. The support lately has been unreal. Thank you again to Luma, Atlas, and Tiggy for helping build this ROM hack and creating such a memorable experience. If you guys want to give it a go at beating Sangria, the file can be found down in the Discord that is linked at the top of the description. And also, if you guys want to watch live progression of videos like this one or the 100 hours challenges that we do, we are live almost every weekday at twitch.tv/hitchuride. Well, I think that's all for me now. Until next time, peace.